0.95% of the total number of polling stations. At this hour, the performance of the presidential candidates is as follows. Bulira Frank Kavinga, 35,315 votes, representing 0.44% of the valid votes cast for the candidates. Kasvante Robert, 24,564, representing 0.31% of valid votes cast for candidates. Kyagulanyi Sentam Robert, 1,709,474, representing 21.33% of valid votes cast. Mabirizi Joseph, 16,813 votes, representing 0.21% of the valid votes cast. Mugisha Gregory Muntu Oyera, 44,367, representing 0.55% of the valid votes cast. Munyagwa Mubarak Serunga, 22,232 votes, representing 0.28% of the valid votes cast. Nandala Mafavi James Nathan, 157,111 votes, presenting 1.96% of the valid votes cast. Yoweri Tuhaburwa Kaguta Museveni, 6,003,657, representing 74.92% valid votes cast. Valid votes in a total are 8,013,533. 8,013,533. That is the total number of valid votes for all the candidates. Invalid votes, 202,808, which is equivalent to 2.47% of the total votes cast. Total votes altogether, 8,216,341, representing 37.95% of the registered voters. Spoiled votes, 27,740. That is the position that we have as of this hour and minute. And the next briefing will be I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Lord Chairperson and Deputy Chairperson of the Commission, members of the Commission, the Secretary of the Commission, all invited guests. Ladies and gentlemen, on the screen as you see, and as earlier indicated, that's a breakdown of the particulars that have been presented. Evening tea is served. Make sure you pass by the service tents that are upstairs there, on the upper side, outside this main tent, and take some tea. Supper will also be served before convening here at 10 p.m. Both have been prepared for you. Those of you in the room here, the ones that are watching on various platforms on TV, please find some tea and supper, and then we'll see you again here at the EC grounds in Roa at 10 p.m. Here where we are, for those who are watching for the first time, we are at the Electoral Commission grounds in Rubowa, in Rweza, in Makinde Sabagabo, and on these premises is where the headquarters, the first permanent headquarters of the Electoral Commission are going to be constructed. So in many ways we are part of making that history with this place serving as the national talent center for the presidential elections of 2026. You're welcome. For now, please feel at home at this home of yours, of the Electoral Commission, your Electoral Commission. Have some tea, have some conversation, and we'll see you again at 10 p.m. My name is Julius Muchunguzi. I am the head of public relations and spokesperson of the Electoral Commission. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Justice Simon Byabakama, together with his commission, has just concluded giving us an update, but of course informing us that he will be coming back later at about 10 p.m. to give us probably the last update of the day. But as of the way things look right now, out of the 50,000 polling stations, so far we have covered about 35,000, that is 483, that is about 69.95% according to the different polling stations that we have covered so far. That means we have about 40% of the different polling stations that we have covered so far from this particular time. But results coming in from the different candidates, that is the presidential, according to how information is coming in, Bulira Frank has actually not made any adjustment when it comes to percentage. Has about 0.44%. That is coming in with 35,315. When you do add some mathematics, he has done some addition there in Kasibante Robert. He has moved an inch from 0.30% to about 0.31%. Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu right now has about 1,709,474. That is making it 21.33% from 20.71%. Mabirizi Joseph coming in there, sticking from to 0.21%. Actually, from the time Justice Simon Byabakama started announcing these results, Mabirizi Joseph has been on that percentage, 0.21, coming in there with 16,813. Gregory Mugisha Muntu coming in there there with 44,367. That is 0.55%. Monyagwa coming in with 0.28%. After adding in, that is about 22,232. Nathan Nadala Mafabi coming in there with 1.96%. That is 157,111 coming in there, and Yoweri Kaguta Museveni right now having that percentage over 74.92. Now it looks like it is over, but it is not over yet, because now it is now clear that the tussle is between Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu and candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. I want to see if I can get some opportunity to talk to some of these people who are there, so it is very important we shall be having that opportunity. However, Ugandans didn't have a choice, or still have a choice, because it was done. It is done, and what we wait for is tomorrow to see how best can we get to that, because the tussle being between Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, this is the second time they are meeting on the ballot. Who will take it away? President Museveni, candidate Museveni rather, has always been saying that he has to win this with beyond 80%. How can we get to this? That is something we shall be justifying that come tomorrow from Justice Simon Byabakama. But the other candidates also still have hopes to see how best they can get there. So the question is, will Ugandans send back the same candidate to lead the nation? That is making it the 5th decade. That is, if candidate Museveni goes through, that will be his 7th term from the time he came into this position, that is in 1986. So those are some of the things that Ugandans have to put in place. Those are some of the things that people must think about. We have very many observers here. We do have very many important guests. I have seen the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, that is Right Honorable Anita Among. So it is very important. Just as my camera person can show you, I want to see if I can talk to some of these people. It is very important. If the speaker is in place, what needs to be done? We shall be getting at least a word, one or two, so that she shares her opinion right live on UBC. Yes, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament is still going through some of the issues. The map is displayed by the Electoral Commission, so she has to look at how things have been unfolding. But when we do get an opportunity, we shall have to understand what does she think. I do understand she does have an overview of the entire picture. Polling has been going on, but what do Ugandans have to understand from the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament? Looking at how the polls have been coming through, you will realize that Ugandans have tried so much to ensure that they abide by what has been put in place by the Electoral Commission, by the way, but also putting in mind that the police has also did put up a number of measures, and these are things that Ugandans now need to abide to. We did have the first national vice chairperson of National Resistance Movement, that is Haj Moses Chigongo. He did appear here. He did observe what happened. He did observe actually the second reading of Justice Simon Byabakama. And right now we do have the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Anita Among, and also the lawyer of the National Resistance Movement, that is Edwin Karujire. And those who have been following the different nominations, those who have been seeing what has been taking place, he is one of the agents of the National Resistance Movement. So we shall be understanding from some of these people, that is, if we do get an opportunity, but also putting in mind that part of the observers that we do have coming in from the different parts of the country, we do have those from European Union, but they were given guidelines, because I do understand tomorrow there will be a presser that is at about 10 a.m. to address the nation on what has been observed. 2 days down the road, this is a democratic journey that very many Ugandans have been waiting for. So the question is, how best can this be achieved? If the process has been free and fair, how did we get to that? We do have different opinions from some of these leaders. So it is very important if we do get the people who are behind the entire process. Justice Simon Diawakama has always been hinting on a number of issues, how they did follow the law and how to ensure that Ugandans actually abide by what is put in place. This is something Ugandans have been waiting for, but the most important thing is tomorrow. If Justice Simon Diawakama says that tomorrow by about 4 p.m. we shall be in position to understand that what will be the final declaration. Now, how will it be? All right. Now, as we do wait for the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, that is, if we do get a chance to speak to him, we also do have other dignitaries around. I will be giving a chance to Michael Jordan Lokomwa to give us a debrief for our Luganda audience to also get a feel of how things are unfolding as of now. Jordan.
Yes, Jethro, thank you so much. We are still coming to you live from the National Tally Center, much as yes, every kind of duty has challenges. It could be people, it could be individuals. Yes, it could be people that stand in the way of others as they execute their duties, but of course we have to give you whatever is happening here. There are so many dignitaries that are in this place to ensure that in different capacities, observers from region, international observers of the political parties. Political parties have sent their leaders here. You have seen the NUP leader, you have seen the NPP, the NRM has theirs here, the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Chiwanda of the National Consultative Council, and we shall have a chance to talk to all of them because we are the national broadcaster. It is not a mistake to talk to any of them because we know our duty at the end of the day. Now, mu Luganda okuwaako gwali ku Star TV okuwaako maybe ku byakafulumizibwa omulundi ogwokusatu chairman Justice Simon Byabakama atuwadde bifulumiziddwa ebirala nga bino bivudde mu polling stations emitwalo 3.5 mu 409 nga wetwogerera bitundu 7 ku mitwalo 5 eza polling stations zetulina mu Uganda. Frank Bulira aine emitwalo 3.5 mu 315 nga bitundu obutundu 44 ku buli 100. Kasibante aina emitwalo 2.4 mu 564 bwe butundu oba 0.31%. Kyagulanyi Robert Sentamu owa NUP aina akakadde kamu n'emitwalo 7 mu 9 mu 474 nga eyo 21 butundu 21 mu kamu n'obutundu 33 ku buli 100. Mabirizi Joseph Elton aina emitwalo 1,600 mu 8 mu 13 nga bwe butundu 21 ku buli 100. Then Jeno Muntu aina emitwalo 4,400 mu 367 nga bwe butundu 55 ku buli 100. Munyagwa Mubarak Serunga alina emitwalo 2,200 mu 232 bwe bulubwalina bwe butundu 28 ku buli 100. Then Nandala Mafabi wa FDC alina emitwalo 15,700 mu 1,011 obululu bwe yakafuna bwe butundu kamu 0.96%. ate Yoweri Museveni wa NRM alina milioni 6 n'obululu 6,000,000 mu 3,657 bye bitundu 74 n'obutundu 92. So wetwajidde wali amabega wabaddewo embeera ey'okugamba nti okwebuuza bituuka bitya wano, bisembera bitya wano we biri, ababireeta bituuka bitya, Electoral Commission efuna etya byefunye. Twayogedde ne Justice Byabakama ku makya natugamba ngenda kulagira abantu bange bateke ku screens nga boolaba emabega wali balage bituuka bitya okuva polling station okutuuka wano wetuli. Bituuka bitya ku polling station okutuuka wano wetuli. Yes. Honorable Chiwanda, kiki kyoyinza okuwa omuntu weewamwe ekasanda kifaananyi kiki kyolaba?
Wemtiana? No, first of all, ekintu ki okusinziira ku bingeri results ezijja wano twabadde twemulugunyiza ku makya kubanga okuva jjo obwera tuweebwa percentages era ntukyogerako nga twagala tulagibwe percentages zino engeri gyezibadde zitambula mu districts kuba n'abantu bagala okulaba district zaabwe balonze batya so tuli basanyufu nti electoral commission okuva yatandise okutulaga etulaga percentage district ku district naye ne bweyagala ogendera paka ku polling station buli kibiina ekiri wano ekyasimbyewo candidate kirina omukisa okuba nti kiteekawo kirabira ddala kutuukira ddala paka ku kyalo kuba buli kimulina ekiwano waliwo ebibiina 8 ebyasimbawo ba president kati osobola okugjayo results zo paka ku kyalo paka ku polling station ezavuddeyo naye ekisinga obukulu mu byonna mpulidde nti abantu abadde bakyemulugunya eyo balangidde nensaba bannayuganda tukuume emirembe teri muntu yawangudde kalulu kuba member of parliament atagenda kulangirirwa buli muntu ajja kulangirirwa naye tukuume ensi yaffe nga ya mirembe tetwonkya ensi yaffe tubeere nga tusobola okubeera because tetulina nsi ndala
nga National Consultative Council oyogeddeko ne banna abalala bwe muli mu bibiina ababadde naddala ababadde beebuuza feedback kijofunye
no bwenjogeddeko n'ebibiina 8 ebyateekawo ba candidates of course ng'ogyeko ekya NRM ate kyenvaamu bakandidate abalala bagenze bamanya kubanga nabo bonyini bafunye results okuva mu byalo by now bacandidates kuba president abasinga DR forms bamaze zifuna ba agent babe boogedde nabo ne bababuulira era ndowooza nti kino kyakoze bulungi okugenda empola mpola kuba bamala okulangirira abantu ne baddamu ne bakuba amasimu n'amanya eyo nakoze ntya ali nekyala kati kituyambe n'okuba nti results kati zigenze ku screen ku pieces zaabwe buli muntu kati bw'aba alina kyayagala okuwakanya akirako naga nti kino si kyabadde wano so the process has been okay.
Entambula y'obululu nga buli omu bwafuna obaddeko mu kalulu ogiraba otya
entambula y'obululu ku level y'aba president ekisooka nti President Museveni it has been a landslide tebana electoral commission tenalengirira bisembayo ne bwolaba difference wakati wa $6,000,000 ne $1,000,000 n'okusoba oba olabedanga difference nene nnyo naye era kivudde ku difference nga bwogiraba ku districts kubanga obadde olaba district ezisinga President Museveni ali mu bitundu 8 ali mu 9 I think Bukedia is in 96 point something a district like Ruhura is 99 so all these ones is an indicator because kino kyonna nakyo kiva mu ngeri gundi gye abantu engeri gye balonze this is a reflection of what has been done on the districts and the polling stations.
Okay, bitambula bitye goyinza okutuwa update kati
tutambula bulungi ba MP okusooka nze nga chairman wa National Consultative Forum naye ate ng'ogyeko ekyo ate ne mbadde coordinator nze mbadde team leader owa Greater Mubende ina ba flag bearers 20 aba NRM but by now ba flag bearers 16 abadde aba NRM bawangudde mu Greater Mubende muli mu district nga Kasanda, Mitiana, Mubende, Kyankwanzi ne Kiboga mulimu constituent ba member of parliament 20 but out of 20 NRM already ifunyeko a member of parliament 16 so that's a great improvement. Of course electoral commission yeyinawo obuyinza obusembayo okulangirira abawangudde ne constituency yange gyemvamu eya Mitiana North Mwami Kibedi yawangudde hono bona bakoba yawangudde nga member of parliament omukyala yes these are confirmed hono Makumbi wa Mitiana South yawangudde Mitiana mu district ya Kiboga ba member of parliament bonna basatu Mwanyinaze Desire Muhoza Lule Elik Dr. Kefa then bogenda mu Kyankwanzi tubadde ne member flag bearer waffe Entwetwe Dr. Chikabi tubadde ne flag bearer waffe Butemba Patrick Bingi ne member parliament omukyala Anna Maria Nankabirwa bonna basatu yes ate nova bwe tugende Kasanda Dr. Bukenya that is Bukuya abaddemu Dr. Bukenya abaddewo, then katateneka ne constituency nda Kasanda South ebadde ya Nuupu Mwami Kabuye gyabaddemu nayo tugiwangudde, Haji Bisasa awangudde, member of parliament omukyala ebaddemu Honorable Kabuye, then ndabaddemu Nabagabe, member of parliament omukyala wa Kasanda, member of parliament Rebecca naye awangudde. So olabanga constituency esinga ezibadde za national inter platform naddala mu Buganda tuzijjeeyo, tusobodde okununula constituency nyingi olwalaba already Wakiso tutunudde constituency 3, Busiro South tugitutte, Busiro North tugitutte, then tuyina Busiro South kati member for parliament wa NRM ya wangudde, Busiro North wabadde wali Sematimba kati wabadde yes wabadde Mwami Bukenya, then Busiro wabadde Mwami Nsubuga Busiro North Mayanja yagiwangudde Busiro North, then era tuna constituency 3 so far mu Wakiso. Kampala naye mugiwulira etambula eboiringa etambula, and we have and buli constituency gy'olya mu Buganda tunonyeeyo nnone tuyinza okubanga ku mulundi guno tujja kusukka abaka wa parliament abava mu Buganda abadde 332 abadde 31 tuyinza okuyingira abaka nga 6 mu Buganda. Masaka sinafuna no information yonna no simple sinawulya bisembayo kuba zino zenjogerako. I was in charge of these very districts. So njagala kwebaza abantu abatuwadde akalulu era mmanyi nti mube bakakka mu mikwano gyange mwenna, ayina mu abawangudde muleme kulowooza nti mwe musoose okuwangula, ayina mwe bawangudde mulowooza nti mwe musembeyo okuwangulwa. Just become and we see what to do. Ensi yaffe, let's become tukakane tujagale and we move on.
Bwaka chimwine eri abavubuka kubanga buli mbe iralikiza nti abavubuka bagenda kola kino bagenda kola kino
ekisooka abavubuka kye balina okumanya nti omuntu yenna akutwala mu kintu kyo ekimenya amateeka ye mulabewo, kubanga oyo yennyini akutwala ye obuvubuka bwe yabukwata bulungi n'abaako byabukolamu. Gwe obuvubuka bwe ayagala obumalire either mu kkomera oba omale ng'oliko ekizibu ku mubiri gwo. So kye tubasaba abavubuka mulina okukimanya nti abavubuka it's not a destination. Obuvubuka myaka gy'okozesa it's a stage. Ffenna twali tubaddeko abavubuka President Museveni n'ekigungu yali abaddeko omuvubuka, n'omukadde oyo gulaba ku kyalo asemba yali abaddeko omuvubuka,
naawe
nange nali mbaddeko. I came to parliament nga n'emyaka 23. I was 23 years, much younger than you. Olwayagala okwekalakaasa nenjagala okutegeeza emyaka gye gy'obuvubuka engeri gy'ogikozesa nkulu nnyo, kwaba onoogikozesa obubi gigenda kufuukira omugugu mu maaso.
Abakulembeze ensonga abavubuka ze beemulugunyako oluusi eziyinza okubateeka mu mbeera bwe zityo mu oluusi mutazirowoozezaako ekyo kyogerako kubanga nabo tebava mu bbanga singa balalu singa bali butabika.
Tukubiriza wano abavubuka baffe abantu baffe abakulembeze
bakubiriza bayise bulungi naye mumufaayo ku nsonga z'abavubuka. Mbadde njogera ne Honorable Balamu program zino zabadde atambula eyo ninga osanga oluusi akazibu katono nnyo akabadde keetaaga okufikisinga nga kabavubuka nga katono nnyo. So kye twetaaga tukubiriza abakulembeze baffe naddala mu abawangudde tubeere sensitive nnyo, tufeeyo nnyo si ku nsonga z'abavubuka zokka, but let's be close to the population. Obuzibu bwabwe tobuba bungi nnyo bwe tunaabukolako tujja kusobola okuba nga tubeerawo emyaka mingi nga National Resistance Movement. Nina mu abavubuka lekerawo okulowooza nti gwe babeere nga bakwata bukwasi nga giraasi bwaba nga lwo program za gavumenti ezigenda maaso. Please gyenyigiremu, waliwo PDM etambula emyoga weegiri. Please get involved, beeramu nawe beera mu class tolowooza nti gwe bagenda kukugira bugizi. So nawe weebeereremu kitegeeza. Yes, faayo beera mu class goberera, bw'otagoberera ensi ejja kuleka. Gwe nga wayita muvubuka the next day ojja kuba nga tokyali muvubuka ng'oli mu bantu ate abasinga obukulu. Kale sebo atulaba ku Star TV byebyo nga bwe bitambula. To you watching us on UBC TV, we thank you so much. That is how we are here at the National Tally Center. Yes, we had endeavors to talk to the Speaker of Parliament, but I think it has failed. I would say we are blocked and we may not have her. Yes, that is it. We are blocked. We may not have her, and it is an opportunity that we may not push to have. We thank you so much for watching. Keep it with us. We'll give you more updates here from the National Tally Center and other parts of the country. Thank you so much for watching.
Mwebale nnyo bannaffe omuli Jordan Michael Komwa ne Jethro Kasaiji bali wali webabalira obululu ku kakiiko k'ebyokulonda erubowa eyitibwa Tally Center okubanga batutuusaako byonna era emabegako omulamu Simon Byabakama ngono essentebe w'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda yazze era n'ayogerako eri eggwanga ku ngeri obululu obwakabalibwawo gye bujja bufulumizibwamu guno mulundi gwakuna ng'ayogerako eri eggwanga. Ndi Amina Nabule Kajimu awamu ne munnange Shaidat Nasaku awamu n'obubonero ono ye Dorothy Namuyomba okubanga tukutuusaako byonna nga bwe bigenda mpozi n'okulungamizibwa Lutamaguzi Semakula tannawangulira tugenda kuba tukuleetera omuwanguzi essaawa yonna era n'okulungamizibwa okulala kakiiko akavunanyizibwa ku byenjigiriza oba ekitongole ky'ebyenjigiriza era nakyo kivuddeyo ne kituleetera amawulire nti abateekateeka school fees mwetegeke kubanga nga ennaku z'omwezi 2 Feb babadde balina okutandika olusomo olusooka lwongezeddwayo okutuusa nga ennaku z'omwezi 10 omwezi ogwokubiri omwaka guno lwe lusoma olusooka. Tugezaako okubanga tweyunga ne bannamawulire aba UBC leero okuva mu bunyomero obw'enjawulo tugenda kuba tubikutuusaako byonna mu bunyomero nga bwe bitambula naye nga tukyalina Shaidat Nasaku naye abe nga atubuulira ebyabawanguzi n'abantu abatuufu abawangudde okusinziira ku bisomebwa. Kakati tugezaako kubanga tuleeta n'ebifaananyi awamu n'okubulira abawanguzi ab'enjawulo. Shaidat.
Atulaba ku UBC TV tukyagendera ddala maaso n'okutuusaako ebyo ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga baani abakawangula baani abatannaba kulangirirwa emabegakaawo tubaddeko n'okwogerako omulamuzi Simon Byabakama nga tubuulira ebikyagenda mu maaso obululu obwakaleetebwa ate n'ebyo ebyakakuŋŋaanyizibwawo naye tuli n'abasasi baffe okubanga ate batutuusaako ebigenze mu maaso mu constituency ez'enjawulo okwetooloola eggwanga. Tugenze Embale Yiga Muhammad gy'asinziira twagala tubuulire ebigenda mu maaso Embale. Yiga Muhammad.
Mwanyinaze Shaidat Nasaku olunaku olwaleero akalulu akakubiddwa ak'amagomolola 2 agakola ekibuga Mbale okuli Northern City Division wamu ne Industrial City Division ate kwogatta ak'omubaka omukyala.
أنا عندي حصة واحدة أخلصها على طول. تعرف ما باخدش وقت يعني. هي حصة واحدة تك 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 والسلام عليكم. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ready?
Yes.
أول حاجة state your bill. Bill. Number 2.
baabwe abawangudde. Akalulu kano kaabaliddwa okuviira ddala ssaawa 5:30 ez'ekiro naye bagenze okalangirira nga zigenda mu ssaawa 11 ez'akawungeezi k'olunaku olwaleero. Wabaddewo engeri y'okutaataaganyizibwa n'obutategeeragana mu miwendo egibadde gibalibwa egy'obululu n'oluvannyuma ab'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda kyaddaaki bamaze ne babeera nga ate balangirira oyo omuwanguzi. Nga bwe nagambye Embale ekolebwa Industrial ne Northern City Division. Kati bwe tusookera wali mu Northern City Division abavuganya babadde basoba mu bantu nga 6 naye nga nja kuwaako abamu n'abawanguzi. Haji Umaru Nangoli awangudde. Haji Umaru Nangoli yasooka n'awangula fulaga mu kameefu ka NRM wabula Hud Hussein eyali RCC w'e Masaka naye ne bamutwala ekkuumi gy'alinga RDC yamala ne yeekubira enduulu ku kitebe kya NRM n'afuna bendera naye Haji Umaru Nangoli olwaleero amaze n'avaayo ng'omuwanguzi era nga afunye obululu 1,546 olunaddirira Hud Hussein RDC w'ekkumi ng'afunye obululu 7,716. Paulo Wanyoto naye abadde ku independent afunye obululu 6,467 ate nno omubaka w'ekitundu kino ekya Northern City Division obululu 2362. kakano nno bwe tugendako wali mu Industrial City Division Karimu Masaba ono nga yabadde akiikirira ekitundu kino ekya Industrial City Division seyo n'obuwanguzi ng'afunye obululu 12031 n'addirirwa wasuukira Anthony amubadde nga amusuza teyeebase era asula akulungutana olw'omulenzi ono naye wasuukira afunye obululu 7 abadde ku tiketi ya independent oba ya bwannamunigina. Wambogo John yabadde akutte bendera eya NRM afunye obululu 620. Walimbwa Rashid owa Nuupu n'afuna obululu 1961. ate nno Regan abadde ku independent afunye obululu 514. ate wokuli Madanda Margaret owa FDC n'afuna obululu 888. kakati nno kano kawunzikiddwa ne abesimbyewo okuvuganya ku kifo ky'omubaka omukyala ow'ekibuga eky'Embaale era nga kano kawuutiddwa Wanyoto Lydia. ono kinajjukirwa nti azze avuganya kumpi buli kisanja naye nga tayitamu wabula ku mulundi guno Mukama Katonda amuwanzeeko eddusu awangulidde ku bululu 2,668. olwo nno n'addirirwa Koni Nakayenze Galiwango abadde ku independent era ng'ono yabadde omubaka omukyala akiikirira ekibuga kino eky'Embaale mu lukiiko lw'eggwanga olukulu afunye obululu 814. oyo Koni Nakayenze Galiwango. ate nga Aisha Nakayenze ono nno ye yabadde alina bendera eya NUP afunye obululu 5,639. n'addirirwa Hajat Sarah Kanabi era nga naye yesimbyewo ku lulwe ng'omuntu afunye obululu 2,297. Kakai Harriet ono abadde amyuka meya w'ekibuga Mbaale neyazenga ng'obwa yazze ku lwa Namunigina n'afuna obululu 2,289. Halima Asena munnanuupu naye ng'abadde ku independent ticket afunye obululu 414. olwo Robina Masibo era wabula nga yazze ku lulwe ng'omuntu n'afuna obululu 2,269. obululu obutyo butambudde naye ng'ekibuutikidde ekibuga Mbaale z'ettabbulu n'okukyanca ebidongo n'ebirala ebigwa mu kkowe eryo. abantu basanyufu bajaganya okwetooloola ekibuga. bano nno bagenda bawerekerwako abakuumaddembe era emmotoka z'abakuumaddembe zirawuna ekibuga kyonna. bano bwe batambula naye ng'ate era bwe bawakirwako kabangaliza poliisi emmamba n'ebirala okubatangira obutakola fujjo n'ebirala ebigwa mu kkowe eryo. nno ekibuga Mbaale bwe kityo bwe kitambudde. mu bitundu ebirala tujja kwongera okubatuusaako ebyavu ebinaaba bivuddeyo naye nga wanjinyabo
embeera kulangirira abo abawangudde embeera egenze etya ki ekitambula abantu bafaanana batya?
omuntu yenna ayagala okuyita mu kibuga Mbaale toyina w'osobola kuyisa kigere okuggyako bayite eno ku mabbali naddala booda toyina w'osobola kuyisa kigere. emmotoka booda ziri kumukumu ez'ebidongo n'ebirala. kati ekibuga Mbaale omuntu yenna alabika nti ayinza okukiyitamu naye ng'obadde ku mirembe gyo tosobola kukiyitamu okuggyako ng'oyita ku nguudo ezeesudde ekibuga naddala nga Tororo Road na zino eza highway kusala okudda ku Kumi Road.
Kakati bo abawanguzi bali mu mbeera ki? Walabyeko n'omu ku bawangudde?
Kibadde kizibu nnyo kubanga babajjewo nga nseenene abawagizi baabwe ne babateeka ku mmotoka waggulu. naffe twagadde okwogerako nabo naye nga tosobola kwogera kuba waliwo be batadde ku loole waggulu, waliwo batuuzizza ku takisi ku butanda bwa takisi waggulu ng'omukyala Lydia Wanyoto bamutuuzizza ku kabangali waggulu nga nawe yali agadde okwogerako naye mu ngeri ey'okunyumyamu emboozi ey'enjawulo nga bannamawulire kibadde kizibu okumutuukako. era abasinga obungi tugambye nti katubalinde bakakkane bamale okugwamu essanyu liri oba oliawo tunayogera nabo gye bujja okutubuulira biki bye basaako oluvannyuma lw'okuweebwa obuyinza.
Kale Muhammad Yiga tweyanziza nnyo okubanga ate otutuusizaako ebigenze maaso eri buli oliwo baani abasobodde okuwangula ate nabaani ababagoberedde n'ebiringa ebyo tukyasuubira obululu okuva mu nsonda z'eggwanga ez'enjawulo abalangiriddwa tukyabasuubira era nga tukyakwongerayo kale Amina nabule kajimu kajirenga ate atwongerayo ng'era bwe tukunoonyeza ebirala ebyokutegeeza
atera n'amawulire agakajja mu kitongole wano ku UBC galaga nti munnakibiina kya NRM National Resistance Movement ono Basajja Ssubi Nsereko Charles alangiriddwa ku buwanguzi mu kifo ky'omubaka mu Parliament owa Nakaseke ey'omu Maserengeta. Munna NRM Basajja Ssubi Nsereko Charles yalangiriddwa ku buwanguzi mu kulonda okw'omubaka mu Parliament owa Nakaseke ey'omu Maserengeta. Onajeeyo Paulson Lutamaguzi Semakula abadde akwatidde ekibiina kya NUP Bendera okubanga avuganya mu kulonda kuno. Basajja Nsereko alangiriddwa Basajja Ssubi Nsereko Charles alangiriddwa kulira akakiiko k'ebyokulonda mu kitundu kino ono Aida Tusiime n'obululu emitwalo 3,279. Basajja Ssubi Nsereko alangiriddwa nti awangudde n'obululu emitwalo 3,279 awangudde Paulson Lutamaguzi Semakula. Kakati Shaidat tuyitiremu ku nsonga ez'obululu nga butambudde naddala ku bwa omulamuzi Simon Byabakama byakatuwaako.
Kujjukizako Munnayuganda omulamuzi Justice Simon Byabakama bwaze okwogerako eri eggwanga n'okulitegeeza biki ebikyuseemu ku bululu bw'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga nabaani abesimbyewo. Tulina Yoweri Kaguta Museveni owa National Resistance Movement yakyaleebya banne bonna alina obululu obukadde 6,357 nga yakafuna ebitundu 74 n'obutundutundu 92 ku 100. Akyaddiridwa Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu owa National Unity Platform nga ye alina akakadde kamu mu emitwalo 7,974 byebitundu 21 n'obutundutundu 33 ku 100. Akyamuddiridde Kyagulanyi Ssentamu tulina Nandala Mafaabi owa FDC nga ye alina akakadde alina emitwalo 15 mu 7,111 ate kyekitundu kimu n'ebitundutundu byebitundu kimu n'obutundutundu 96 ku 100. Tulina Mugisha Muntu alina obululu emitwalo 4,367 alina 0 n'obutundutundu 55 ku 100. Tulina Mbarak Munyagwa nga ye alina 0 n'obutundutundu 28 ku 100 alina obululu emitwalo 2,232. Tulina Robert Kasibante owa NPP alina 0 n'obutundutundu 31 ku 100 bwe bululu emitwalo 2,454. Tulina Mabirizi wa Conservative Party alina obutundutundu alina 0 obutundutundu 21 ku 100 bwe bululu omutwalo 1,813 ate akyasembyeyo oba oyinza okugamba essaawa zino akyasibye ekira ye Frank Bulira mwanatu si akyasibye ekira naye obululu bwalina wa RPP alina obululu emitwalo 3,515 nga byebitundu 0 n'obutundutundu 44. Ebyo bye tukyalinawo ku kifo ky'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga bye byakafulumizibwa naye bikyagenda maaso tugenda kuba tukyafuna ebikwata ku kulonda naddala ku kifo eky'omukulembeze w'eggwanga. Omulamuzi Simon Byabakama atusuubiza nti gye bujjako awo mu maaso ndowooza ssaawa zijja kuba 4 ez'ekiro agenda kuba ate aliko ebirala byakuŋŋaanyizaawo era bitegeeza eggwanga. Kale katweyongereyo ne Amina nga bwe tulindirira ebikyajja. Amina.
kakati mwebale kuba naffe mwebale kutambula naffe gye twatandikidde amawulire aga UBC leero okubanga tubatuusako mu Luganda ebibadde bigenda mu maaso ebivudde mu kulonda era nga nze Amina Nabule Kajimu ne Shaidat Nassaku nga kwotadde n'abalala. Kakati nkuleka n'emboozi eno nti akakiiko k'ebyokulonda mu ggwanga nga kakulembeddwa mu ssentebe waako omulamu Simon Byabakama ko kakyagenda ddala mu maaso n'okulangirira ebivudde mu kulonda kwa president nga bwe bijja okuva mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo. Abakakiiko k'ebyokulonda amakanda bagasimbye Lubowa ku luguudo lw'Entebbe tugenda kubibalekera naye nga twebaza era ne tusiima bwongerwa okubanga mututegedde amatu awamu n'okutwegeka amaaso okubanga mutwesiza okugenda mu maaso n'okubanga tubatuusaako ebivudde mu kulonda twongera okunga abantu okubanga bongera okukuuma eddembe mu kiseera kino ekyokulonda.
On behalf of the Electoral Commission, all guests here, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to this afternoon session.
Guests, maybe allow me the recognition of His Excellency Jonathan Goodluck, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is in our midst. He is the head of the African Union to the Uganda General Election Districts. Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, heads, and all distinguished heads of the various observer missions who are here with us, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored that here this afternoon once again to give you an update or a brief status of the presidential elections result that we have obtained so far from various parts of the country. The first session was yesterday at 9 p.m. Today, 9 a.m., we had the second update. Now this is the third one, not final one, but the third one. The total number of registered voters on the National Voters Register are 21,649,067. The total nations where the Ugandans went to cast their votes yesterday are 739. Total number of polling stations whose results we have received here at the National Tally Center are 138, constituting 54% of the total number of polling stations. This is the candidates' performance as of this hour. Bulira Kavinga, 29,700, constituting 0.44% of the valid votes cast. Kasavante Robert, 1,626, constituting 0% of the valid votes cast. Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert, 414,619, constituting 20.71% of the total votes cast. Nabirizi Joseph, 14,006, constituting 0.21% of the votes cast. Mugisha Muntu Oyega, 38,082, constituting 0.56% of the valid votes cast. Munyagwa Serunga, 19,034, constituting 0.28% of the valid votes cast. Nandala Mafavi James Nathan, 144,564, constituting 2.12% of the total votes cast. Yoweri Tuhabulwa Kaguta Museveni, 5,148,845,000, constituting 75.38 valid votes cast. The valid votes altogether for all the candidates are 6,889,000. 60,830,089. Invalid votes 107,655, constituting 2.4% of the total votes cast. The total votes altogether valid are 7,744,000. 7,700,000.
Geragana ku 10 bwa butikitiki 74.92 okutwaliza wamu obululu buno bw'obugata obulamu oba twandise valid bwabaliddwa buli obukadde 8 n'omutwalo gumu mu 13,533. Invalid votes oba bufu b'emitwalo 20,808. Obululu bwonna obubaliddwa okutwalira wamu obufu obubadde bufu n'obulamu buli emitwalo obukadde 8 n'emitwalo 21,641. Obululu bwayonoleddwa spoiled votes buli emitwalo 2,770,4. emitwalo 2,770,4. Basebo ne bannyabo ebyo bye twakafunako ebivudde mu kulonda kwa president ku ssaawa 4 tujja kuba twongera obategeeza ebiki ate bye tufunye nga tubigatta ku bino bitufunye already, twongere okufuna ekifaananyi ebintu nga bwe biyimiridde. Ffe n'akakiiko twewaddeyo tujja kuba tutegeeza Abannayuganda ebivudde mu kulonda kwa president essaawa yonna okutuuka bwe tunaamaliriza, bwe tunaatuukira ddala ku ssaawa eyo esembayo okutegeeza eggwanga ani president addako w'eggwanga lyaffe mu Uganda. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala.
towards the end of these elections come tomorrow, 5 p.m., as given by the Electoral Commission. Today, I spent time with the Inspector General of Police, Afande Abbas Byakagaba, and we're going to be talking about the generality of security in these past few days. IGP, it's good to meet you. Timothy Nyangosi is my name.
Good meeting you. You're most welcome.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm fine.
How have the days been so far for you?
So far, the days are good because I'm getting very good response from the citizens.
Okay.
Very good energy from my people. And I think the equation is balancing up. We are good to go.
Congratulations, first and foremost.
Thank
a very
you.
Successful polling day. Then the first day of tallying. We're closing tomorrow. How have you managed to keep this country secure?
Well, first of all, I'm greatly humbled by our people, the citizens.
Yes.
Of course, let me also, first of all, use this opportunity to thank the Ugandans, all those who have participated in this election exercise, for really remaining civil, cooperative, and ensuring that we keep the peace so that this election exercise comes out the way it is coming out. And I'm greatly encouraged, and that's more morale for me to do more together with my people. Yeah.
Afande, I just want to quote a few things you said, especially in one of your briefings. The mandate was to secure elections in the country, but also maintain law and order, preserving life of all citizens. What is the status of the security situation across the country, in your view?
In my view, and from the reports I keep getting across the board, the whole country remains generally stable. And this is courtesy of the efforts of all of us as security agencies, maintaining firm control over public order and ensuring that at all times there is territorial integrity. This calls for, first of all, interagency cooperation, working together, knowing that the security of, for example, the police force is tagged to the cooperation and working together with other agencies. As it is in this country, we have what we call interagency, which we really value as something giving us extra strength to ensure that we maintain the security and stability of this country.
And I'm grateful you have mentioned that, the interagency. Some of the observers, both international and national, raised concerns about the deployment. They felt like you were using a shotgun to kill a fly. Was that, they felt like it was intimidation for the people to be able to go and vote. What are your thoughts about that, and why were we overly deployed?
I think what I need to explain here is that when we are thinking about security, we must first of all scan the environment. We must carry out threat assessment, and our deployments are not just by waking up and putting people and other equipments in different places.
Yes.
It's out of a serious threat assessment, and also looking at our capabilities, and again finally knowing how to place ourselves and ensure that we remain on top of the situation in order to offer the security that we require to offer to our population. And therefore I feel a bit uncomfortable even to use those words like over deployment. I under these circumstances I don't understand it, because our deployments are in consonance with our estimates, the way we look at the situation and how we should keep security. So over deployment maybe depends on someone who is looking at it from another angle, not the angle of security. But I would also like to observe this, that even as we move around patrolling, I've been seeing quite some cohesion seamless interaction with the public, and to me that is what gives assurance that actually the public is valuing our presence. And I want even to attribute the success of the exercise on the 15th of this month to that deployment and the public having their expectations met vis-a-vis the provision of security. And that's why people have been able to come out and vote peacefully without any disturbances.
You, in your presser a few days ago, quoted the Police Act and talked about Chapter 3, went on to quote the Electoral Commission Act, Chapter 126, and talked about a few principles that were there. You talked about proportionality, legality, accountability, neutral across the country. What examples would you give, and what warranted these incidents? What was the proportion net that you used as police to be able to quell them?
You see, first of all, we prepare ourselves to ensure that our best case scenario is not to have any single incident of law breaking, of disturbance of peace. But you know, in reality, because we are dealing with the situations where the people are not necessarily homogeneous, including within the security forces, and here and there you may have an incident where there is something happening which you never actually planned for. But on the whole, I would like to observe that generally there have been very few incidents. Very few, to my recollection. We can talk about what I have heard in how the reports I have received in Utambala, that unfortunate incident. The reports in Bukedi East, where one of our personnel was injured, actually a senior security officer. A few other incidents, but on the whole, this has been a peaceful environment. And as law enforcement agencies, whenever there are contraventions of the law, never mind whether it is during elections or outside elections, measures to ensure orderliness in the country will continue to be taken.
And you have mentioned those incidents. I also want to be able to mention a few. Luwero, 3 lives there. Also, we speak about some incidents within the capital city, but about 400 people arrested. And also we are talking about some of those 400 being police officers who fall under your docket. How do you justify, how do you proportionally speak?
Life moves fast. Your workout, coffee, ride, lunch, travel, shopping, errands, all the tiny decisions that pile up fast. What if it was just one? Meet Xena Violet. One lifestyle membership with benefits from all the brands you love.
We had laws which guide us in our operations. And when you fall outside that, then the institution will also take action. The bottom line is you will not commit a crime in order to stop a crime. I think we need to balance up that, and we need to be alive to that. You don't, even if you are a security officer, you don't commit a crime to stop a crime. Everything must move within the realm of the law. And therefore, we have had even to arrest our own people, and we are going to process them until justice is achieved. Now, referring to those officers who got involved in some criminality, they are still suspects, but we are going to process them until they themselves have justice, and those they could have affected also get justice. And the bottom line is that we will not tolerate any indiscipline from our side. but also will not tolerate the contravention of the laws from outside ourselves. And that is what will create a balance for us to continue having a peaceful environment for this country, even beyond the elections.
They always say that with each process there is a silver lining. Any lessons learned from this for you as the police that you see these are areas we can improve, or these are lessons we can learn to be able to be a better force that serves and protects?
Well, my immediate comment and observation is that even as a country itself, we are still moving forward, we are still building. So also the Uganda Police Force is still building. Therefore, there are areas where we need to improve, and we are going to make those improvements. And that's why you may have certain incidents where maybe I may not go into details, but there are a lot of lessons to be learned, both the good and the bad. But on the whole, I think for this season, there are a lot of good lessons to learn. There are some lessons to learn, especially during the campaign period. But how I also wish that these lessons go beyond the forces themselves, but also to our citizens, so that tomorrow we can have a better peaceful environment for this country.
Lastly but not least, the public and the police is a relationship that needs to be an ongoing. When you look at it now, how would you rate the police and the public's confidence in each other?
I think on the whole, I could say we have a lot of cooperation from the public. Good cooperation. We are not yet there. And our best case scenario would be to have everybody on our side vis-a-vis security. And we shall continue to work towards that. Ultimately, we would like to continue being useful and more useful to the population and the residents of this country. We are clearly aware that our participation in whatever we are enjoying to do has a very big relationship to the achievements of the aspirations of the citizens of this country, because we are clearly aware security is a baseline to the achievement of all other activities, and we shall continue to do that. We have the commitment. I can talk on behalf of all my colleagues, and that's the way to go. But I must observe it is still work in progress, but we are progressing very well. Finally, allow me to thank the people of Uganda for being there with us, cooperating with us, all those who have been cooperating, but also to remind those who have not cooperated very well that we still expect them to cooperate, and we shall continue to look out for them to cooperate so that we have the best environment in this country to ensure the development of this country.
Before my last question, I would like to also give the police flowers, because on two occasions, yesterday I managed to move around as we were trying to get what was happening in different polling stations. Generally, the city was calm, and also talking to different people. So credit to you and the team for making this possible. Also at the National Tally Center, very commendable job there. My final question is that this process will come to an end in May. The final results will be announced tomorrow by 5 p.m. How do you maintain that and keep confidence for the Ugandans that everything, their property and their lives will be secure in your hands?
I also again want to reiterate this, that our population, our people should keep the confidence that they have in us, because we have the commitment, but also we will continue to demonstrate the resolve to protect them, the resolve to go for those who contravene the law legally, and we shall continue to be legal in all our actions, because we are clearly aware we must work within the confines of the law, but ultimately we must protect all the Ugandans and the residents living within this country. So far, so good. I would like to thank you for the flowers, and definitely the flowers motivate us. These flowers are not for me alone, the flowers for our team on my side, and that is motivation enough for us to continue. And this prevailing environment, we expect it to continue and continue from now and forever. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Inspector General of Police, for speaking to us. We really appreciate your time. I know you are busy, but thank you for squeezing us in.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
So that has been a conversation with the Inspector General of Police, Fande Abbas Byakagaba, and we've been talking about the security situation of the country in this electoral process. It even goes on all the way to May, and we're asking how they're going to ensure that we're safe, both in lives and property of every Ugandan. He has given us the confidence. Regardless of the results in this country, we all have one country. We cannot set it ablaze, we can build it brick by brick. From me, Timothy Nyangweso, thank you so much and have a blessed day. And I would like him to come and join me as we have a conversation about the elections today. His Grace, if you could join me. His Grace, good afternoon, and it's good to have you.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you for sharing a very beautiful scripture there about elections.
To God be the glory. You know, it means that election is not just a constitutional mandate, but it is a God-given mandate as well.
What is your feel of this election period, especially since you are a leader of one of the biggest congregations?
I want to thank God that this has been generally a very good and peaceful election, because I elected from Mityana and I am also an observer. So I came back visiting some polling stations and it was peaceful wherever I visited. And this morning I've been able to call a number of our bishops, and they said that generally, despite some few places where there were those few things, but it was peaceful according to the report I've got from my bishops.
Your Grace, you had a few concerns as the Interreligious Council. Have they been answered? Do you feel confident enough?
Yes, I feel that a lot has been done, except the biometric machines, which was our concern. And definitely I'm happy there was an instruction from the chair to use our analog. Otherwise, the rest, the things which we are concerned about, a number of them are being addressed. I just pray that it will continue up to the end. Our concern was also peace, stability and unity during this time, and I think that so far so good.
Lastly, Your Grace, tomorrow is the last day. The process seems to come to a halt tomorrow until May. What's your message to the Ugandans that feel this might not have been it, and how would you encourage the country to come together?
I want to appreciate the Electoral Commission for the work they have done, and all of you media houses and the Intelligence Council of Uganda and the other observers for the great work. And I will congratulate those who have gone through and tell them, please do your work and don't provoke those who have lost. These are your brothers and sisters. And for those who may lose, I want to encourage them to go to work. This is not the end of it all. The Uganda is still here. Let us ensure that we keep the peace, because peace is beyond victory. Any victory without peace is very good for nothing. Let us ensure, each one of us, you go back to do your work. Mudde ku mirimu, buli muntu akole emirimu gye. Ebyokulonda biwedde, olina okwenonyeza ekyokulya n'okunoonyeza omwana wo fees, baana baddeyo mu masomero. Togamba nagudde banakoze nti buli muntu okusonyiwagana, muleke okuvumagana, mudde ku mirimu, Uganda egende maaso, Katonda ajja kutulabisa.
Thank you very much, Your Grace. It's been a pleasure hosting you here. That was His Grace, the Archbishop Kazima Mugalu, speaking to us also as an observer, but also the head of the Church of Uganda, encouraging the country to pull together after these elections, regardless of the side of the divide where you fall. He's asking for all of us to come together, especially to galvanize, to pull our country to the development we desire.
Let's talk peace. Praise the Lord, dear brethren. My name is Reverend Namara Betty. I am a curate here at All Saints Church in Barogreta. All of you know that on 15th this month we have general elections. But my calling is that let us have elections with peace, because we know that as Christians, we know that Christ is our peace, and we have to protect this peace. And again, as citizens of Uganda, it is our responsibility to choose leaders. So don't go home and sit down and say, mine is already done, I'm not going for elections because I'm a Christian, so I cannot go for elections. No, 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 no. You are a citizen of Uganda and we are allowed to go for elections. But my calling this time is that let us have elections, but with peace. Choose wisely, wait for God's working. We know that whoever God chooses will be the person that will be fit for our country.
Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
Let's talk peace. I call upon all Ugandans to ensure that we continue contributing towards this peaceful environment that we are currently having. On our side, we are determined and committed, and we are clearly aware that in order to have it very well, we have to continuously work together with the population, the good citizens, because after all, we know that this duty is delegated duty, and we do it on behalf of the citizens of this country. That one we shall never forget. The only thing that we shall continue to remember is that we shall put all our efforts towards the achievement of what is delegated to us to do. We expect all the cooperation from the public against wrongdoing, but also we expect a lot of support when we are operating within their environments to ensure we protect them. Like our patrol teams, we expect them to be received with grace and support, so that really they can also keep getting energized to do what they are doing on behalf of the Ugandans.
Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
Let's talk peace. I am the Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugaru, the 9th Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, but also Chair Council.
You're very welcome to the National Tally Center here. Today I have Moses Birhanga, the Senior Presidential Advisor, but also the lead polling agent for the President. Good afternoon, sir, and how are you?
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So far, what do you see? How does it look like in your view?
Well, you have seen it here on the screen. Yes. We are winning, and that doesn't surprise me, because our target was to win at 70%, not less than that.
So when you look at some of the numbers, especially the turnout and the polling stations, do you see anything that concerns you?
Well, the turnout could have been higher, because so far I think it's about 50% or about. It could have been higher. Maybe let's wait for the remaining, because from what they have announced, 38,000 against 50,000. So you still have about 12,000 polling stations not yet coming. So let's wait the turn up in those areas. But for what is so far here, it's still low.
Though there were some incidents yesterday, security-wise. In your view, these incidents, were they avoidable? Were they something that could have been avoided? 3 people killed in Luwero yesterday, this morning, and then a few issues in different areas. What do you think about these?
I haven't studied them. I can't comment on what I don't know well about.
I can also ask you about the deployment. People felt that it was heavy deployment that might have collaborated with the biometric to bring intimidation for people not to turn out. Is that something that you see, especially with this?
Well, the deployment, security normally deploys according to the level of threat. So depending on what they know from intelligence, they will deploy to overcome what is expected. So the good thing, generally, election process was peaceful. Okay, election day itself, I voted in Kampala myself. Apart from the delay of the voting materials at our polling station, which came in at around 8. I was there around 7:40, but the materials came around 8. We're already there. There were about 4 polling stations in one area. So by the time the polling materials came, about maybe 2,000 or so people had already gathered. Now, it was I call it a blessing in disguise. Why? They opened the ballot boxes when we were all there watching. So nobody can say there was staffing because we were all there. Maybe it had been opened earlier, I would have said, I don't know what happened, I don't know what, but now everybody, many people were there at the time of opening. So you can't claim about staffing or multiple voting, people coming again and again, something like that. So it's unfortunate that the machines were not used, but the register as per law was used. And the people, those who voted, I think were happy that they voted, they made their choice.
2 questions, Mr. Moses. When I ask, when you look at the numbers you have benefited in some areas you have not been in before, especially members of parliament, the numbers in the votes that you have attained there, what do you attribute that to, looking at Buganda region especially?
What does before mean? We have been winning in Uganda before, only to the last election. But if you say before, well, I can stretch it to 1996. We have been having elections, so yeah, before is just short-termed. But yes, we did a lot of mobilization. I was sharing here with somebody from the greater Museveni, that is Kyankwanzi, Kivoga, Mitiana, Kasanda, and Museveni. It has 20 members of parliament. So far we have got 17 of them. So that's a very big win, a very big push. Here in Kampala, well, from what EC has been showing us, the performance is much better than before. Even from our own DR forms we have been receiving, we are doing much better. So we are going to do better in Kampala than before, than last election. Our total vote and the percentage in Kampala and Wakiso is going to be much higher than the last election.
Lastly,
maybe the reason why I see in this Kisanja which we are ending, first of all, in the last election, we were getting out of COVID. These areas of the urban areas of Uganda, Kampala and Wakiso being the highest urbanized areas in Uganda. You see, getting out of COVID, the people are not working. But the landlords were demanding rent. The workers, some of the salaries had been cut to half, some were off. So the economic situation that time was so hard. But then today is totally different. That's why there was the performance in the urban areas was not that good. So people were reacting to the situation at the time. If you ask me what has happened, how it has changed, today we are not under any lockdown. People are working. We introduced programs specifically to help people get out of poverty, like PDM. In the whole country today, we have reached out. We have so far spent 3.7 trillion under PDM, which has so far reached 3.4 million households. So people are in economic activity. If you look at the economy, it's much better today than it was 5 years ago. And who is benefiting from this economy? When you hear that when you hear that Uganda's coffee exports have gone up and to almost 9 million bags, away from 3 million bags in 1986, who benefits from this coffee? Coffee in Uganda is basically a peasant crop. Very few middle-class people are involved in coffee growing. So when coffee exports go up, both in volume and the amount of money coming in, it means the farmers who are in the villages, who are in the rural areas, are getting money from coffee. And that's a very big benefit for them and the country at large. So that's why the voting today, when people have money in their pockets, is much different than when they lack it.
Lastly, tomorrow is the last day. We will know exactly who will be president-elect. But also as the National Resistance Movement, you need to bring this country together, especially not to be divided by colors. How do you galvanize this country to pull together, to develop it together?
Well, if you look at the map of Uganda, the electoral map as today is, it's basically yellow everywhere, with some few cases where Kyagulanyi has won within Uganda here, but we have also won, in some of the cases we have won the MPs in those areas, and our policy has always been that we develop the country irrespective of how it voted. So our programs, like for instance, look at the PDM. In the last election we lost in Uganda, but so far under PDM we have spent 627 billion within Uganda, the highest in the whole country because of the size of Uganda. Other areas are below 600 billion. But so for us, we don't discriminate. Whether you voted for us or didn't vote for us, our programs are as uniform as possible. So we shall continue to work for the development of the whole country, irrespective of how they voted for or against us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Byarhanga. We appreciate your time. We'll be with you to hear the last of those polls coming in. So that's what you've heard from the NRM. They say they are performing as they expected, slightly not as much as they expected going forward, but the numbers show themselves there. About 5 million votes still coming in, and Honorable Kyagulanyi coming in at the second there, north of 1.1 million there.
And I little bit transfer to restaurants. First bakery
that we are currently having. On our side, we are determined and committed, and we are clear aware that in order to have it very well, we have to continuously work together with the population, the good citizens, because after all, we know that this duty is delegated duty, and we do it on behalf of the citizens of this country. That one we shall never forget. The only thing that we shall continue to remember is that we shall put all our efforts towards the achievement of what is delegated to us to do. We expect all the cooperation from the public against wrongdoing, but also we expect a lot of support when we are operating within their environments to ensure we protect them. Like our patrol teams, we expect them to be received with grace and support, so that really they can also keep getting energized to do what they are doing on behalf of the Ugandans.
Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
Let's talk peace. Hi guys, we are going into the elections as a country. My job, your job is to pray that God himself will choose for us the best leaders, whether they are in this party or in this party. As long as it is God who has chosen them, then he will be with them. May God help us as we vote. Also, I encourage all my young people, make sure you stay alive to see your future. Be peaceful, don't fight. Someday I saw a guy getting a rock and telling a guy with a gun, Okolechi, Okolechi. I'm like, come on, you have a future to protect. Make sure you are peaceful. Even though your wife, your sister, your brother does not vote your side, make sure you stay alive together as you wait for the future that you are believing for. Stay peaceful, stay calm, and pray.
Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
I'm Superintendent of Police, Bagan's Patience, the DPC Dokoro. We are in for the election period, and my role as police is to provide security. However, if we are to have a peaceful election, it is a two-way traffic. The wananchi also have a role to play in this. The catchword in this is to have an election period where everyone is to participate freely without any fear. Our commitment as police, we are going to prepare and prepare and prepare. And then we shall give a leveled ground for all of you to participate in this election. We call upon all Ugandans to keep peace during this election period.
Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
Let's talk peace.
My name is Colonel Banson Desderius Mande. I'm the Director Research and Analysis, National Counterterrorism Center. As we go into this electoral season, we all need to work as whole government, whole society, for people to talk peace and maintain peace before, during, and after elections. Uganda is for all of us. We need it secure. We need these elections free of violence.
Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
Let's talk peace.
As we go into the final lap of the electoral campaigns and into polling, we are calling upon all the people of Uganda to conduct themselves peacefully. First of all, the candidates, we call upon you to use suitable language that shows respect and tolerance, and language that promotes peace and unity, because we are all Ugandans and elections should not divide us. So we call for language that is respectful of people's cultures, people's views, and is tolerant, because we all have different views, but we all want to have a very, very united country, Uganda, and a progressive one at that. So we are calling upon you to conduct yourself peacefully as we go into the final days of the campaigns, and on polling day, to respect the views of others and to accept the results of the elections, and know that after the elections, there will still be a Uganda, and we need each other as citizens of Uganda. I wish you a peaceful electoral process, and I call upon you to be peaceful. Peace-loving Ugandans. God bless you.
Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
let's talk peace.
Praise the Lord, dear brethren. My name is Reverend Namara Betty. I am a curate here at All Saints Church in Barogreta. All of you know that on 15th this month, we have general elections. But my calling is that let us have elections with peace. Because we know that as Christians, we know that Christ is our peace. And we have to protect this peace. And again, as citizens of Uganda, it is our responsibility to choose leaders. So don't go home and sit down and say,
running breaks your joints. Tai Chi builds them back. After 50, you need that. In 1 week, you'll see your energy. In 2 weeks, you'll feel your breath. In 3 weeks, you'll have energy and your wife won't believe your results. Here is the personalized plan of short Tai Chi workouts tailored for beginners over 50. It takes just 7 minutes per day. Beginner friendly and requires no equipment. You can work out anytime, anywhere.
What happens if